Hey PBL fans, how's it going? It's Jacob, the coach of the Ecruteak City Stantlers, and today we are doing a guest commentary for the match between the Magikarps and the Tyranitars, between Coach Mike and Coach Kaitlyn. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. As you can see, Mike did lead off with his Garchomp, and Kaitlyn did lead off with Mienshao. Now Mienshao is a little bit faster here, so she will be able to get the first attack in as long as she has max speed. We do see that Garchomp does decide to stay in and actually go for the Mega Evolution, so his attack went through the roof, but his speed went down. Mienshao does go first and gets the U-turn off, and as you can see, this does a little bit of damage, but that recoil from the Life Orb does reveal that it is not a choice set, which is good information for the Magikarps. You do see that Metallica comes out here, and this Garchomp decides to just set up Stealth Rocks instead. I don't know if he was planning on, getting a crazy prediction read, but apparently not. He was just going for Stealth Rocks. So now Garfunkel goes ahead and reveals his Fire Fang, and Metallica takes pretty decent damage from it, but it will be a 3-hit KO, as Metallica decides to set up rocks of its own. So now there's rocks on both sides of the field. We do see a Leftovers reveal, so that could be pretty good information if they are trying to keep track of that. And now you can see that Metallica is switching out, because even though it's a 3-hit KO, I guess she just doesn't want to risk that damage at all. So then you see a Clefable come out, Godmother, and Garfunkel does go for another Fire Fang, hoping to go for the kill, but it actually does a pretty decent amount of damage despite the fact that it's not super effective coverage. Now here, you can see that Garfunkel is going to go straight away for Earthquake, and this right here is a little bit of the misplay on the Tyranitar's part, but that's how it goes. As you can see, Godmother barely survives that, as we do see a Moonlight come through. I personally would have liked to rather see just some straight damage, just go for a Moon Blast. You had that much HP anyway, so... But now you can see that Clefable's HP is low enough to where it will be taken out if it gets hit by another Earthquake, but unfortunately instead of switching, she just decides to let it go. Maybe she decided to sack it off because it didn't really have any use in this match, I have no idea. But regardless, first blood goes to the Magikarps. As you can see, Godmother has just fainted. So out next comes Sapphire the Latios, and this thing has been pretty deadly so far this season, so hopefully it can continue to wreak havoc in this match. And it does scare out Garchomp immediately, and Jirachi decides to come out to take the impending Ice Beam or Draco Meteor. And let's find out which one it is. And it's going to be an Ice Beam. So the Ice Beam does pretty terrible damage, actually. But all things considered, that was kind of a lot. There you go, it was a crit, that's why. Alright, so then we go ahead and see that Jirachi actually has Leftovers. We also know that this Latios does not have a Life Orb, otherwise that damage would have come through. The switch would suggest that it might be a Choice Scarf set, but I have no idea. Alright, so you can see that Skarmory comes out to take this Ice Punch, and unfortunately, the freeze happens. So now this Skarmory is totally frozen, and Jirachi can just have its way with it and just take it out entirely. Both Pokemon do have Leftovers, so this might become a little bit long of a matchup, especially if these Ice Punches aren't critting or anything like that. But that extra 10% chance with that Ice Punch from Serene Grace is pretty dirty, so kudos to Mike for bringing that type of coverage move. I don't know if that was planned or not, but it was pretty brilliant at the end of the day. So now we can just see this match kind of stalling out just a little bit as another Ice Punch comes through and goes ahead and does not take it out yet. However, Skarmory does end up falling out and goes straight away for Roost, so the stall war is back on, ladies and gentlemen. As we can see, Skarmory does get a bunch of his HP back, 50% to be exact, and more Leftovers come through. Now here's a weird situation, just because Jirachi can't really win without a freeze, and we don't want Skarmory getting frozen again, so it's kind of a weird one here. But then we do see a Swords Dance come up. Now, this is kind of weird to me, not the Swords Dance Skarmory, that's fine. If you want to run Swords Dance Skarmory, that's fine by me. The thing that's weird for me is that was kind of an awkward time to do it, because there's not really a way that this Skarmory breaks through, right? Because we've already seen that it has Roost, it has Stealth Rocks, and it has Swords Dance, so it only has one attacking move, and assuming that it's a stab move, Jirachi kind of resists both of those. So I don't necessarily know that Swords Dancing there was the right move, but that's alright. But next we see Not Brave Bird come out. That is a Swallow, as she gets a Roost off to get more HP back, and as you can see, that is pretty solid for her. And from there, we see that a Heat Wave comes through, which is going to do a lot of damage because it's probably Choice Specs Swallow. I didn't calc the damage or anything. But here we see another Swords Dance come out, so maybe she just didn't know the fact that Swallow carries Heat Wave. It's one of the few bird Pokemon that do, so just good knowledge for everybody else for the next time. But then she's like, alright, well that's going to kill me, so I'm going to switch out. And I'm going to bring out Reptar, which is actually a very brilliant move, because not only does he resist the Fire-type attack, but by bringing in Sandstream, it actually ups his it multiplies his special defense by 1.5. So brilliant move on Kaitlyn's part there. You can see that this Heat Wave, does absolutely no damage to the Tyranitar. It might as well have just healed him. It just tickled him on the stomach. Now Mike does decide to leave his Swallow in, which is a pretty interesting decision. Maybe he just decided to sack it off. I have no idea, to be totally honest. But as you can see, this Heat Wave again, it actually misses, but that doesn't really matter because it wouldn't have hurt anyway. And now it gets absolutely demolished by a Stone Edge. So a KO goes over to the Tyranitars. Out next comes Roy G. Biv, the Kecleon. I know Mike has had a lot of high hopes for this thing this season, but unfortunately it's been kind of underperforming so far. But let's see if it goes ahead and does something cool this time. It does get outsped, which is pretty interesting. And you can see that this Earthquake does not actually take him down. He survives at 18 HP. As a Protean Drain Punch comes in. That's pretty good. Oh, so close. Does not take it out. Maybe he has Shadow Sneak to maybe pick him off at the end. I have no idea how much damage that would do. But that being said, nope, he doesn't have it. Maybe he just went for Dragon Punch again. So that Earthquake is going to be able to take out this Roy G. Biv Kecleon, and another KO goes over to the Tyranitars. Interesting set, though. I don't know what set he was running on Kecleon, but it sounded pretty cool. Alright, so out comes Flubber, and as we can see, it is going to get the Imposter change and switch into Tyranitar. So now there's two Tyranitars on the field, and his goes for Superpower. I don't know if Superpower was necessary. I kind of rather would have liked to see, I don't know, some move that didn't lower his own stats, because assuming that this Ditto is just like the factory stocks Ditto, it's probably Choice Scarf, and it would probably be able to outspeed this Mienshao and hit it really hard with like Earthquake or maybe Stone Edge. Regardless, he got a KO. Okay, so out comes Porygon Z, and that looks like the biggest mistake of this entire game. So this high jump kick comes in and takes out Porygon Z. Alright, yeah, so my recommendation would be not to switch a Pokemon into something that's super effective to it, regardless of what you think is going to be the outcome. Maybe he was just sacking it off, maybe he thought he didn't need it this match, but who knows? Alright, so now we go ahead and see a knockoff come through. And that actually does really good damage to that Jirachi. A ton of damage. Let's see what move comes out from him. Zen Headbutt, so that... Oh, it misses. That's super unfortunate. Ooh, that sucks. We do see a U-turn come through. And Jirachi is going to go down to that. So now it's an interesting situation because Kaitlyn does have to switch out to a different Pokemon before Mike gets to see it. So she goes ahead and switches out into Latias. Then his response to that is to bring in his Ditto. So he's like, alright, you know what? You have Latios, I have Latios, let's go. And if it is Choice Scarf like it has appeared to be, it'll probably be a race to see who can Draco Meteor first. And I think Kaitlyn knows that she's not going to win that race unless she's also Scarfed. So she decides to switch out into Splinter, her Mienshao again, to catch this Draco Meteor. And I'm guessing that that doesn't go well for her. So let's go ahead and see what happens here. And come down, and boom, boom, boom. And yes, that Mienshao is 100% absolutely dead. The good thing is that she does end up forcing Mike to have to switch out of his Ditto, because his special attack is now lowered. Unless he decides to go for a second one here, but it's not going to KO, there's no way. Alright, so he does decide to go for a second one here. And let's see what it does. Yeah, not enough, unfortunately, but I appreciate the fact that he went for it. If he would have got a crit, he definitely would have taken it out. So we do see a Roost come through, which is pretty bad for his team, because now Kaitlyn has a pretty healthy Skarmory who's ready to fight. and that would be scary on any team, to be honest. Alright, so now we go ahead and see him switch out, and I forget what his other Pokemon is. Oh, Garfunkel. So he does switch back out into Garchomp. There we go. And things are looking pretty bad right now for the Magikarps. It kind of looks like they can't really break past this wall, but we'll see what happens. We know that Fire Fang is a 3-hit KO, but as long as Roost is managed properly, there should be no issue here. Oh, we see a Dragon Rush come through. Unfortunately, misses. Then the Iron Head goes ahead and smacks him again. Maybe he was just predicting a switch. I have no idea. Dragon Rush is a pretty interesting move. It's kind of like Slam because it's a Dragon type attack with a lot of base power. The only problem is that it misses quite a bit. Alright, so we do see a Fire Fang come through. Ooh, and that's actually not enough after leftovers, I don't think. It might be enough, but it doesn't look like it is. I guess we'll find out. No, we won't find out because Skarmory decides to retreat, and out comes Shazam. Shazam, the Heliolisk. We see a Fire Fang come through, and this will probably do pretty good damage. Oh yeah, tons of damage. Unfortunately, it did survive, and it is going to take him out with a hidden power, assuming the ice. So now here we're down to just Ditto versus these remaining 3 Pokemon in Heliolisk, Skarmory, and Latios. And as we see here, it does change into the Heliolisk. So now, assuming that he's Scarfed, he's kind of locked into picking a move, and that's it. So, okay, so he does go for Hidden Power. I personally would have liked to see him go for Thunderbolt, because that not only would have taken Heliolisk out, but it would have been able to take out this Skarmory as well. At least it should have. I mean, I'm sure it would have done like 80 to 90%, or probably like 70 to 80% to be honest. But we do see another Hidden Power go through, and that's probably not going to be enough. No, it's not enough. So we see a Roost come through, and yeah, that's going to end up being the game, because Skarmory can just stall him out, can just tank these hits, set up on him, and just take him out, is my assumption at least. I forget how much HP Flubber has, but it's being locked into Hidden Power Ice. Ooh. So now we can go ahead and see. Oh, she's just going straight away for damage. Iron Head. Ooh, that didn't do too much, so she might decide to set up after this just to make sure that she can punch it home as quickly as possible. So let's see. Another Hidden Power comes through. I suppose if he gets a crit, like at the right moment, he might be able to take him out. But maybe after this one we'll have enough damage. We'll have to wait and see. Here comes another Hidden Power Ice. And it does, again, minuscule damage. And at this point, we're just waiting for the match to stall out. There we go. Alright, so Skarmory does go ahead and knock out the Shazam Heliolisk. And Kaitlyn does take home the W. So a couple misplays from both teams. I mean, no game is perfect. There's always misplays in Pokemon. I was just pointing them out so that everybody had... I mean, if you're watching, so that way you have a chance to just get some insight from somebody else as to what maybe they could have done differently. But regardless, great game to both teams. They've both shown a lot of strong skills throughout the season so far, which is great because last season in the ERL, which is a different league, but we all did it anyway, Mike's team showed a lot of improvement between then and now. So kudos to him. And Kaitlyn, you've been doing a great job so far, so just keep it up as well. So that we're going to go ahead and sign off with that. But have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you around in the other matches.